Men, when are you going to wake up? Seriously, how long are you going to put up with the blatant disrespect and nonsense? It's time to stop dating women who treat you like a doormat. Enough is enough. The constant belittling, the condescending tone, the emotional games, it's exhausting, and quite frankly, it's unacceptable. Why on earth would you subject yourself to this madness? Let's be brutally honest here. Respect is the bare minimum in any relationship. If she's not giving you that, then why are you still sticking around? Look, society has somehow twisted the narrative to make men feel like they have to endure disrespect in relationships, like it's some badge of honor to handle a difficult woman. Wrong. You deserve better. Every human being deserves to be treated with decency and respect, and that includes you. Yet here we are, seeing guys stay in toxic relationships where they're constantly put down, ignored, or treated like they're second class. Why? Because somewhere along the line we've been told that this is normal, or that it's just how relationships are. Well, it's not. And it's about damn time we change that mindset. You gotta draw the line somewhere. Women who disrespect you are showing their true colors. They're telling you loud and clear that they don't value you. And you, by staying, are telling them that it's okay to treat you like garbage. Newsflash, it's not okay. If she can't respect you, she doesn't deserve you. End of story. We're not talking about minor disagreements or differences of opinion. This is about a fundamental lack of respect. The eye-rolling, the snarky comments in front of friends, the constant criticism. If that sounds familiar, it's time for a reality check. So if you're in a situation like this, stop making excuses. Stop telling yourself that it's just a phase or that she'll change. She won't. And even if she does, why should you have to suffer through the disrespect first? It's high time you take a stand and reclaim your self-worth. Stop dating women who disrespect you, period. Watch on, and I'll tell you why. Number 1, respect isn't optional, it's mandatory. I'm going to base this entire chapter on a movie series, and I'll get to my point. You remember that scene in Suits, Season 4, Episode 13? The one where Harvey Specter meets Mr. McKernan and sizes him up immediately? Mr. McKernan is skeptical, clearly questioning why he should hire Harvey. But Harvey doesn't flinch. He looks Mr. McKernan in the eye and says, "I know what you're looking for. You want loyalty." He knew exactly what McKernan sought because he knew the importance of loyalty and respect. McKernan wanted someone who understood that respect and loyalty go hand in hand, and Harvey had the perfect response lined up. He pulled out his yearbook and pointed to a quote. "Loyalty is a two-way street. If I'm asking for it from you, then you're getting it from me." That's the kind of respect we're talking about here. It's not a one-way road where you give and give while she takes and takes. No, respect is a two-way street, and if she's not meeting you halfway, it's time to hit the brakes. Harvey Specter, one of the most confident characters in TV history, didn't beg for loyalty or respect. He demanded it because he knew he was offering the same in return. That's exactly what every man needs to do in a relationship. If she isn't showing you respect, why are you still putting up with her nonsense? Are you so desperate for companionship that you're willing to sacrifice your dignity? Newsflash, you deserve a partner who respects you just as much as you respect her. The moment you allow disrespect to slide, you're telling her, and the world, that you're okay with being treated like a doormat. And let's be real, who respects a doormat? Respect isn't a luxury, it's a basic requirement. When you go into a relationship thinking, well, I guess I have to earn her respect, you're already losing. You don't earn respect by bending over backward to please someone who belittles you. If she doesn't respect you from the start, she's not going to magically change down the road. You're not Harvey Specter standing there with a yearbook, proving your worth to a man who already knows what you're capable of. You shouldn't have to prove your worth to someone who's supposed to care about you. Harvey knew his value, and that's the crux of this whole thing. If you don't know your value, how can you expect her to? And if she doesn't see your value, then guess what? She's not worth your time. Look, everyone makes mistakes, and no one is perfect. But there's a difference between occasional disagreements and a consistent pattern of disrespect. If she's constantly making you feel small, doubting your decisions, or criticizing you in front of others, that's not a relationship. It's emotional quicksand. And the more you tolerate it, the deeper you sink. Loyalty and respect are intertwined. If you're loyal to her, she should be loyal to you. And if she can't give you that basic level of respect, then what's the point? You're not her therapist, her emotional punching bag, or her pet project. You're her partner, and partners respect each other, plain and simple. If she can't grasp that, then you need to show her the door. Period. Stop settling for scraps when you deserve the whole damn meal. If Harvey Specter can demand respect in a cutthroat world like corporate law, you can damn well demand it in your personal life. Stop making excuses for her behavior. Oh, she's just going through a rough patch, or she doesn't really mean it. Enough. Respect isn't optional, and it's not something you should have to beg for. If she can't offer you the basic decency of respecting who you are, then why the hell are you still with her? You're not here to be her stepping stone or her emotional crutch. You're here to be her equal. And if she can't treat you like that, then it's time for her to go. Number 2, you teach people how to treat you. Here's the harsh truth. You're responsible for teaching people how to treat you. If you tolerate disrespect, guess what? You're telling her it's okay to walk all over you. You're laying out the red carpet for her to trample on your self-worth. The more you accept disrespect, the more she'll dish it out. It's a vicious cycle, and it starts with you drawing the line. You've got to stop acting like a punching bag and start showing her that there are consequences to her actions. Because, believe it or not, the way you allow yourself to be treated sets the standard for your entire relationship. When you ignore her rude comments or brush off her belittling behavior as just how she is, you're giving her a free pass to continue. You're signaling that your feelings don't matter. And if you don't value your feelings, why would she? Relationships are supposed to be about mutual respect, not about one person constantly bending to the will of the other. The minute you let her get away with disrespecting you, you've given her the green light to keep doing it. It's like telling her, hey, it's fine if you treat me like crap, I'll still be here. Do you realize how that makes you look? Like someone who doesn't respect himself enough to demand better? And let's be real, why would she change? If you keep coming back no matter how badly she treats you, she has zero incentive to stop. You're teaching her that there are no consequences for her actions. It's human nature to push boundaries, to see what you can get away with. By not standing up for yourself, you're making it clear that she can get away with just about anything. Respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you command. And you command it by showing that you won't tolerate anything less. If she disrespects you and you call her out on it, you're setting a boundary. If she disrespects you again and you take action, whether that's walking away, having a serious conversation, or whatever, you're teaching her that you won't stick around to be treated like garbage. Stop teaching her that disrespecting you is okay. You have to show her, and everyone around you, that you know your worth. Because if you don't set the standard for how you should be treated, she'll set it for you, and trust me, it won't be in your favor. Number 3, stop accepting toxic as normal. Let's get one thing straight. Toxic behavior is not normal. Stop pretending it is. Somewhere along the line, society convinced us that drama, manipulation, and disrespect are just part of relationships. No, they're not. Healthy relationships don't involve one person constantly tearing the other down. Yet, you see it all the time. Guys putting up with women who gaslight them, belittle them, or play mind games. And the worst part? They think it's normal. They think it's just how things are supposed to be. Wake up! You've been fed a lie. Just because toxicity is common doesn't mean it's normal. Let's talk about a real-life example here. You know that friend who's always bending over backward for his girlfriend, right? She constantly flakes on plans, criticizes him in front of friends, and has a nasty habit of ignoring his calls when she's mad. He's a good guy, always there for her, always trying to make things work. And she just keeps treating him like garbage. He tells himself, it's just how she is. Relationships take work. But here's the kicker. Relationships aren't supposed to feel like a never-ending battle. They're not supposed to drain you mentally and emotionally. If every interaction feels like a test you're destined to fail, that's not love. That's toxicity. Why is it that people like your friend stick around in these relationships? Because they've accepted that toxic behavior is normal. They've been conditioned to think that if a relationship isn't full of drama, it isn't passionate or real. That's nonsense. Toxicity doesn't equal passion. Manipulation doesn't mean she cares. Being difficult isn't a sign of a strong, independent woman. It's a sign of someone who doesn't respect you. And if you accept this behavior as normal, you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of misery. Your friend needs to understand that by sticking around, he's normalizing her behavior. He's sending a message that it's okay to treat him like this, that he'll take whatever scraps of affection she throws his way. You need to understand this too. Stop telling yourself that her toxic behavior is just how relationships are. It's not. A healthy relationship is built on respect, support, and mutual care, not on constant anxiety, stress, and belittlement. So stop accepting toxic behavior as normal. You're not here to fix someone else's brokenness at the expense of your own well-being. You deserve better, and it's time you start acting like it. She's not special, she's just rude. Let's get real for a second. Why do you keep putting her on a pedestal when she's shown you time and time again that she doesn't deserve it? This isn't about her being complex or misunderstood. No, she's not special. She's just rude, and you keep letting it slide. You see her for who you want her to be, not who she actually is. You make excuses like, oh, she's just having a bad day, or she's not like this all the time. But deep down, you know that's not the truth. The truth is, she treats you like you're disposable, and you let her. Why do you insist on treating her like some rare gem when her actions scream that she thinks you're replaceable? She talks down to you in public, ignores your opinions, and dismisses your feelings. And what do? You keep bending over backward to prove your worth to someone who doesn't even see it. Here's the hard pill to swallow. She's not some unicorn that you need to impress. You need to stop acting like she's doing you a favor by simply being in your life. She's not. Respect is a two-way street, and right now, you're standing in the middle of a one-way road getting run over. Look around. You're not the only guy caught in this trap. There are tons of men who mistake rude behavior for quirkiness or confidence. But let's call it what it is: disrespect. She's not assertive. She's dismissive. She's not strong-willed. She's self-centered. And until you realize this, you're going to keep getting treated like a doormat. This isn't her being special or unique. This is her taking advantage of the fact that you don't value yourself enough to walk away. You're better than this. You deserve someone who listens when you talk, who values your opinions, and who treats you with the same respect you give. By sticking around, you're sending a message that it's okay for her to treat you like garbage. And let's be clear, the more you tolerate it, the worse it's going to get. She knows you're not going anywhere, so why would she change? The minute you stop putting her on a pedestal and start seeing her behavior for what it really is, you'll realize she's not the one you should be fighting for. Stop wasting your time on someone who isn't willing to respect you. She's not special, she's just rude, and you deserve better. Number 5, your self-worth is on the line. Every time you let her disrespect you, you chip away at your own self-worth. It's not just about her actions, it's about what you're willing to tolerate. You can talk all you want about being a good guy or just wanting to make things work. But let's face it, your willingness to accept her behavior says more about how you view yourself than it does about her. If you keep letting her walk all over you, you're telling yourself and her that you don't think you're worth more. And if you don't value yourself, why on earth would she? Here's the reality check. The world will treat you the way you let it. You might think staying quiet or taking the high road when she disrespects you makes you noble. It doesn't. It makes you a doormat. Your silence isn't protecting the relationship. It's just enabling her bad behavior. When you allow someone to treat you like you're less than, you internalize that message. It eats away at your confidence, your self-esteem, and your sense of worth. Before you know it, you're not just dealing with a disrespectful partner. You're dealing with a shattered sense of self. Now think back to Harvey Specter from Suits. Love him or hate him, the man demanded respect and loyalty because he gave it. He had his flaws, sure, but he never allowed anyone to undermine his worth. That scene where he tells Mr. McKernan, "Loyalty is a two-way street," was a power move, not just in business, but in life. He was always willing to walk away if the respect wasn't mutual. He didn't chase after people who treated him like an option. He set the standard for how he expected to be treated, and people rose to meet it. Why? Because he demanded the same respect and loyalty he gave to others. You need to do the same. Stop selling yourself short. If you're consistently giving respect and not getting it in return, it's time to walk away. Your self-worth is not up for negotiation. It's not something you should compromise on just to keep someone in your life. You have to make it clear that you're not here to be her emotional punching bag or her second choice. If she can't meet you on the same level of respect and loyalty, then she's not worth the investment. Your self-worth is on the line, and it's time you start acting like it. Men, the moment you accept disrespect, you become your own worst enemy. If you don't value yourself, don't expect anyone else to. This is going to make a lot of people uncomfortable because it forces them to face the truth they've been avoiding. The world treats you the way you let it, and if you don't demand respect, you won't get it. Share your experiences in the comments. The way you speak to a woman shapes the dynamic between the two of you. Depending on your approach, she might either act distant, stay neutral, become interested, or even start pursuing you. A lot of guys, without realizing it, tend to communicate in ways that push women into playing hard to get. This often leads to the woman not reciprocating feelings, and if the guy keeps trying harder, the situation may worsen, with him eventually ending up in the friend zone or being rejected. This guide will highlight 3 common mistakes in how men talk to women, especially those they are attracted to, which cause women to play hard to get. Plus, it will explain what to say instead to increase her attraction and have her take the initiative in pursuing a connection. One common mistake is confessing your feelings too directly, like saying, "I really like you and want to take our friendship to the next level." Here's a typical scenario. You meet a woman and find her not only physically appealing, but also smart, grounded, and easygoing. She's the kind of person you've always wanted. Whether through work, school, or mutual friends, you get the chance to interact with her frequently. Over time, you develop a deeper attraction and start imagining a future together, hoping she'll start feeling the same. However, as the days turn into weeks or months, nothing happens. Eventually, you decide to tell her, "I need to say something. I like you as more than a friend and want to take things further." While you might expect her to confess similar feelings, her response often falls flat, with lines like, "I don't want to ruin our friendship," "I don't see you that way," or "Let's just stay friends." Why does this happen? A woman might play hard to get because she doesn't want to appear too eager, or she might feel cornered by the sudden request to define a relationship. In some cases, she might even sense that you've handed over all the power to her, and she's toying with it by rejecting or dismissing your feelings. But in many cases, it's simply because she would prefer for things to unfold naturally, a date, a kiss, and seeing where it leads, rather than being placed in a position to decide on the spot. Telling her you like her and want to take things further usually backfires, leading to her pulling away or making your friendship awkward. Instead, take a different approach. Rather than directly declaring your feelings, turn the moment into something playful. Use familiar movie or TV dialogue like, "There's something I've been meaning to tell you for a while now," where the audience would normally expect a heartfelt confession. Then, switch things up. Say something completely unexpected, like a joke. This not only catches her off guard, but also demonstrates your confidence, which can make her feel attracted and excited about where things could go next. By using humor and unpredictability, you'll spark curiosity, attraction, and leave her wanting more, making the dynamic feel natural rather than forced. Here's an example to lighten up the moment and break the ice. "Hey, there's something that's been on my mind for a while. We've been friends for a few months now, and honestly, I can't believe you haven't invited me over to cook me dinner yet. What kind of friend are you?" This playful comment will usually spark a fun response. She might joke back saying something like, "Oh, you should be the one cooking for me," or playfully challenge you. At this point, you can respond, "Sure, I'll cook, but only if you bring the dessert." From there, you've created an opportunity to hang out, which can easily transition into a more romantic atmosphere where things could naturally progress to kissing and beyond. Most of the time, women are receptive to such lighthearted teasing and will happily go along with it. You can take it further by saying, "All right, let's plan something. You bring the wine, I'll handle the cooking. How about Saturday?" It leads into a fun date filled with laughter and mutual effort where the chemistry can really shine. If you're worried about suggesting that she should cook, which most women enjoy if framed in a fun way, you could tweak it by suggesting something else. For example, say, "We've been friends for a while now, and you still haven't invited me for ice cream. What kind of friend does that? Let's fix that. How about we grab some ice cream tomorrow night?" This creates a laid-back opportunity to spend more time together outside of a group or work setting. If she agrees, and you both have a great time, you can then playfully push things further by saying something like, "All right, ice cream is done. Now you've leveled up as a friend, but the next step is cooking for me. When's that happening?" This approach helps you slowly transition from being just friends to something more without making it feel forced. By adding humor, you take the pressure off her and show confidence in your actions rather than seeking verbal approval. On the flip side, one major mistake men often make when trying to gauge a woman's interest is asking questions like, "Would you ever date a friend?" Or, "What do you think about people dating their friends?" These questions come off as seeking permission or approval rather than showing confidence in your intentions. Instead of moving things forward, these kinds of inquiries usually result in women pulling back. They sense that you're unsure of yourself and trying to talk your way into a relationship, which diminishes attraction. When you ask a woman if she'd date a friend, she'll likely respond in a way that makes it even harder for you to move things forward. She might say, "I think friends should stay friends," or brush it off entirely. Even if she likes you, framing things like this makes her feel like she's the one in control. And most women prefer to be led into a relationship rather than having to make the decision outright. To avoid this, steer clear of asking for permission or validation. Focus instead on creating moments where something can naturally evolve between the two of you. For example, instead of asking her what she thinks about friends dating, invite her to spend time with you in a playful, fun context. Show confidence by leading the interaction and let things develop from there. In situations where a guy fantasizes about telling a girl how he feels and hopes she'll immediately reveal her hidden feelings for him, the reality is often much different. Most women won't respond by saying, "I've always had feelings for you. Let's go on a date, kiss, and start a relationship right now." In fact, this approach can cause her to pull away, especially if it comes across as trying too hard. Instead of forcing a confession, what tends to work better is creating moments where she feels like she's the one pursuing the connection. A simple way to do this, like the example from earlier about asking her to cook for you or getting ice cream together, is to playfully say something like, "But we're just doing this as friends, right? Don't get any funny ideas." This line takes the pressure off and lets her laugh while creating a playful dynamic. You could add, "I'm not that easy, so don't try anything in the kitchen." It's teasing in a way that suggests you know she might be attracted to you, but without making her feel awkward or pressured. When you say something like, "No funny business, we're just hanging out," most women will laugh and might even try to downplay their own interest. This makes them feel more comfortable while you show that you're confident enough to joke about the possibility of her being attracted to you. It's all about making her feel like you're aware of the attraction but not overly focused on it, which builds anticipation. For many attractive women, the majority of men they meet don't have the confidence or social skills to create this kind of playful tension. Instead, guys will often opt for serious discussions, saying things like, "I like you more than just a friend," or "I want to take our friendship to the next level." This leads to awkwardness because it feels like the guy is trying to convince her into liking him rather than letting things happen naturally. Another common mistake is asking her something like, "What do you look for in a guy?" or trying to be exactly what she says she wants. This usually backfires because she can tell he's just trying to mold himself to her preferences instead of being authentic. In these cases, she may play hard to get, friend-zone him, or outright reject him because she senses he's not being genuine. One more thing to avoid is agreeing with everything she says just to seem like you have a lot in common. While it's fine to agree on some things, if it's obvious you're doing it only to gain her approval, she'll lose respect and attraction. For instance, if she says something like, "I hate the UFC, it's too violent," and you actually enjoy the sport, don't just agree to impress her. Instead, playfully disagree in a way that keeps the conversation light and fun. You could say, "Oh, come on, I thought you were a strong, independent woman. Turns out you're a bit of a wimp," with a teasing smile. This type of playful banter allows you to show your real personality without making her feel disconnected, even if you don't share the same opinion. It demonstrates that you're not afraid to disagree while keeping things fun and flirtatious, which will build attraction. Women appreciate when a guy can stand his ground in a lighthearted way without trying to impress her by being overly agreeable. Ultimately, you want to make her feel like you're both enjoying the interaction and that you're confident enough to lead things forward without needing her approval. Rather than discussing your way into a relationship, create moments where attraction builds naturally and the connection moves forward with ease. It's important to remember that when you're playfully teasing a girl, it's not about insulting or seriously attacking her. For example, if you joke that she's a wimp because she thinks UFC is too violent, it's all in good fun. The key is to keep the tone lighthearted so you both enjoy the moment. She'll likely defend herself playfully, and you can further the banter by telling her to show off her muscles, then jokingly saying, "I still think you're a wimp," while laughing together. Compare this to the type of conversation where a guy is too agreeable. He might say, "Yeah, I totally agree, it's really violent," even if he enjoys UFC just to impress her. This is a completely different interaction, one that often makes him seem like he's trying too hard. As mentioned earlier, how you talk to a girl shapes the kind of relationship you'll have with her. If you're overly agreeable or passive, she may lose interest, or worse, start playing hard to get. But if you bring some playful challenge and banter into the mix, it creates attraction. So why does disagreeing in a playful way make her want something to happen between you and her? It's because she feels challenged and intrigued by your confidence. You're not trying to suck up to her or fake compatibility. Instead, you're showing that you're confident enough to have your own opinions, and you can handle yourself in a social interaction. You also have the social intelligence to keep things light and fun, rather than turning everything into a serious discussion. Women are attracted to guys who can make them feel desirable emotions, not just logical agreements. When you're playful and tease her, you're making her feel something exciting. She may feel drawn to you because you're different from other guys who try to discuss their way into a relationship, or who are too nervous to say anything outside of agreement. You're creating moments that feel memorable, and those moments build attraction. At the end of the day, attracting women isn't about impressing them with agreement or logic. It's about making them feel something. If you know how to create those exciting emotions, she will naturally be more interested in you. This is where confidence and social skills come into play, and why so many guys who struggle with attraction find it hard to connect with women on a deeper level. If you find it difficult to attract women as you talk to them, there are ways to improve your skills. By understanding how to have fun, be confident, and tease her in a playful manner, you can create instant attraction. This is something you can learn and practice. For example, the flow is a guide that can teach you how to approach conversations, build attraction, and even lead things toward a kiss or more. Talking to women and making them want to be with you is easier when you understand how to do it right. Rather than relying on scripted lines or forced agreement, you'll learn how to naturally create the attraction that makes her want something to happen between you two. When you can create those exciting emotions, the rest follows naturally, whether it's getting her number, a kiss, or even more. This approach works because you're giving her the chance to feel lucky to be with you, and that's what keeps the connection exciting. I hope you've benefited from this video. Be sure to check out the recommended video popping up on the left side of your screen right now for more relationship tips. Thanks as always for watching, and always remember to keep embracing a stoic approach to life.